Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Hit like and subscribe. All right, episode, what is it, 7 of Rings of Power? Knocked that out of the way yesterday. The penultimate episode of this season. Shit, so much has already been said already. The well has already long since been poisoned, so your opinions are already formed. All I really have to say about this episode is that the whole gag at the end where they pan up and it says the Southlands and then it digitally turns into Mordor. Yeah, thanks for the surprise that anyone who has any slight inkling of knowledge of the books would have already recognized just because of the stuff they had shown about where the Southlands was on the maps. Obviously, that was Mordor. The name Southlands always stood out as not really fitting the general naming scheme of anything else in Middle-earth. None of the other kingdoms named themselves that. Gondor was not the Westland. Rohan was not the Northwest Land. Arnor was not the Northland. So why on earth would the Mordor be called the Southlands before it became Mordor? It would have had a different name, maybe, or it would have just still have been Mordor. In either case, congratulations. We've attained the plot. Yeah, it's sad. The whole thing is sad in so many numerous ways. There was a part of me, back when the Star Wars prequels were out in theaters, and there's of course that reaction from my generation of Star Wars fans to it of like, this is substandard, the special effects, there's too much digital shit, the backgrounds look like crap, the story's all over the place, the acting is scattershot at best, so on and so forth. And my ultimate fallback position during all that time of the Star Wars prequels was that, well, this is all true. However, on a certain fundamental level, it is still neat to have a Star Wars movie in a theater to get to go and see. Now, my feeling on that in regards to Star Wars has changed over the years. I didn't see either Solo or Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi was the last time I went to a theater to watch any sort of like mainstream theatrical release Star Wars product. Obviously, Rings of Power isn't a theatrical thing, but there is that little tiny part of me that feels similarly of like, yeah, it's substandard. It's, not the best interpretation. It is kind of having to like make things up and spool a bunch of odd little plot points and tidbits of lore together to try to make something coherent, since they couldn't have gone to the trouble of just going ahead and buying the rights to the Silmarillion or some other actually established piece of work and story to adapt. But that being said, it's still kind of neat that there's a Lord of the Rings show out there. I just wish culturally we weren't in such a place where everything has to be combative, and if it's not 100% satisfactory, it's evil and must be destroyed, and all that kind of stuff. It's tiring. Thankfully, this whole series of review videos is almost over. We'll only have one episode to go after this, until next year when we get our budget-slashed London version of Rings of Power. At least apparently. Who knows how true any of that is. So many people are vested in seeing the show fail because they've made their entire YouTube channel brand based around Lord of the Rings equals bad, at least from Amazon, and Tolkien is good and pure, like the white snow falling from the heavens upon the eyelashes of little children. Nothing's ever going to make them happy, and any little thing they can find wrong with it, they're going to make hay out of, and they're going to take any little tiny rumor, or they're going to take any quote from anyone involved in the show, and they're going to put the worst possible spin on it and run with it like a football all the way down to the end of the field to try to get their touchdown in the form of more subscribers, and I guess more power to them. But it also means that all these people who are trying to give you honest reviews of how terrible the show is, well, in a fashion, it's not very, very honest. I try to, look for the opinions of YouTubers who try to play things more neutrally when it comes to the whole culture war zeitgeist of nerddom. And where I fall on that spectrum, who knows? But at least it's almost over and behind us, and we can look forward to the next big thing everyone wants to get up in arms about, which will probably be the Mayfair Witches show that's coming out in January. Who knows? All these Mayfair Witches, witching hour experts are going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to fucking read up on Wikipedia all the plot points and get their Cliff's Notes versions of what it should have been, and then start complaining about how Harry Hamlin is destroying their childhood, or I don't know. Either way, it's all dumb. We're all dumb. And if you want to be dumb, hit like and subscribe and stay waspinated.